Well, first up, Sri Lanka's President Anura Kumara Dissanayake is set to begin his India tour today, marking his first overseas visit after assuming office. President Dissanayake will be accompanied by Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath and Deputy Minister of Finance Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma during the three-day visit. President Dissanayake will meet his Indian counterpart Droupadi Murmu and hold talks with Prime Minister Modi on Monday as well, while External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar will call on the visiting dignitary on Sunday evening. Let's get you more on this. My colleague Amritpal Singh joins us live for more on this. Amrit, what can you tell us about the significance of this visit coming at a juncture where Sri Lanka is still looking to economically recover from the kind of doldrums, financial doldrums it was in not too far back?
Gautam, this visit is significant from both the optics point of view and the substantial bit of it. The optics, the very fact that the Sri Lankan president chooses New Delhi as his first port of call or foreign port of call instead of Beijing carries significance. It's a signaling that it considers, Mr. Dissanayake considers India a more important ally. Though they have an independent relationship with China, they being the biggest lenders to Sri Lanka. So Mr. Dissanayake will be making a visit to Beijing, but that comes after that. So that is the optics part of it. The substantial part of it, as you rightly pointed out, the economy is in doldrums. The first thing that he needs to get back on track is the Sri Lankan economy. The bailout terms with the IMF have to be renegotiated. He needs more investment. He needs more FDI coming into his country. He needs to create jobs, and that's why India is important. He, apart from meeting the Prime Minister, calling on the President, meeting the Indian External Affairs Minister, he's also meeting a business conclave. He's addressing a business conclave where he'll be pitching for increased investments from the private sector of India into his country. One, to boost infrastructure and manufacturing and production in his country. Second, to strengthen trade linkages. Third, as a byproduct of that, create jobs in his country. Inflation is sky high in Sri Lanka. He needs to get it down. For that, he needs the money to flow in. The other part of his visit would focus on maritime security. India being the closest neighbor, being the first responder in times of distress, and the area, the Indian Ocean region being an important preserve both for Sri Lanka and for India, an important component. Sri Lanka becomes an important component in India's vision of Sagar. Therefore, this visit is important from the perspective of Sri Lanka, also from the perspective of India.
And Dissanayake has, of course, first time become president of his country. So, so far, what are the indications that have been coming from him as to how would he like his would he like to conduct relations with India? Now that he is leading the country and has the numbers, very impressive numbers to do that.
Yes, he has the mandate. He has the clear mandate. In September, he won the presidential election. His party in alliance took the NPP took the 2/3 majority when the elections were held in November. So he clearly has the mandate. His stance traditionally hasn't been very pro-India. He and his party have all along been opposed to, the Indian presence, be it in the Sri Lanka, when the Sri Lanka peace accord took place. He wanted the IPKF out. Life will come a full circle when he receives the Guard of Honor from the same forces that he's so tooth and nail opposed in his country. Then, on the 13th Amendment, giving provincial autonomy to the north and the east in Sri Lanka. These are issues, contentious issues. Even during his campaign, he was opposed to, the Adani power projects in his country, etc. So there are issues, but I think Mr. Dissanayake also realizes that his country needs the money. He's made the right kind of noises saying that that was then and this is now, and things have changed, and we will not allow anything on our any activity from our soil that's inimical to India's security interests. When Dr. Jaishankar went there last month, so clearly, Mr. Dissanayake realizes the reality of the times that he's become the president in, and I think would want to strike a balance and seek more and more investment, and also see how he can build on the convergences rather than harp on the divergences.
And Amrit, India was also very neighborly, especially when Sri Lanka was going through the kind of crisis that it was, and it's not completely out of the woods yet. But how is India looking to take its ties with Sri Lanka forward now?
No, absolutely, you're right that India was, India extended both a loan and a grant of $4 billion when the economic crisis hit them. India, being the closest neighbor, has always, looked at Sri Lanka as an ally, as an important country, as I said, as a central to its Saga vision, central to maritime security in the Indian Ocean region. There are, differences on some aspects. India has concerns about the Chinese, satellite tracking vehicles, ships docking in there. So India has those concerns, but historically we've had ties with them, cultural ties. There is a large Tamil population, though they are Sri Lankan Tamils, but the sheer ethnicity with Tamils on this side of the Park Strait. So, there is this fisherman issue. So there are issues that create friction between the two sides, but the approach that India has is that India would want to take Sri Lanka along. It would want to see a strong and prosperous Sri Lanka. It wouldn't want to see a failed economy and a failed polity in its neighborhood, which is amply existent in India's neighborhood.
Yes, India's closest maritime neighbor, Sri Lanka, very vital to India's key interests, particularly in South Asia and beyond. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Amritpal Singh.